but I'm gonna show you the best price that I've yet to see on this bottle of whiskey, and they have an insane amount of it.
How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to Whiskey. I am in Biloxi, Mississippi for an entire month, and today's day one. Let's go bourbon hunting.
All right, everyone, so I made it to the first stop. It was actually right up the road. The reason I'm in Biloxi for an entire month is I'm here to serve my Air Force Reserve time. So I got out of active duty military about a year ago, but decided to stay in the reserves, and I do all my time here in Biloxi. And this is actually the shopette on base who sells liquor. And a lot of times, some of these shopettes can have a great selection of whiskey. I did go inside to ask permission if we can film, and to my surprise, they said yes. I didn't think we were gonna get a military bourbon hunt in, but that's what we're doing. We'll see you inside the Express. Let's talk about today's video sponsor. This has been a long partnership of ours here on the Whiskey channel, and I absolutely love this brand. This is Brother Justice. One of their American single malts made my top 5 whiskey of the year last year, and I've recently done a barrel pick with them, which was absolutely amazing, and it is now sold out. But today, they wanted me to tell you about their American single malt silver whiskey. This is not to be mistaken with your typical White Dog, moonshine, white lightning as people know it. And truth be told, there's really no harsh taste to this at all. It's made with just 2 ingredients, malted barley and water. Then what Brother Justice does, they take that water, proof it down to 86 proof, and let it kiss the barrel before bottling, hence the name Silver Whiskey. I'm personally on my second bottle of this. This is a fresh crack of the new one. On the nose, it's a very, very tropical, fruit-forward nose. Pineapple, coconut, and a note that I get in a lot of their whiskey is red Twizzlers. It's pretty awesome that a whiskey company can pull out that distinct nose and flavor. It's going for the taste, and then I'm gonna show you how I actually love to drink this. This truly does taste amazing. Now, normally when you are buying a clear spirit from a whiskey or bourbon distillery, that is gonna be the moonshine or that White Dog, and it's very harsh. It's not that easy to drink. This, on the other hand, is lovely. Now, this is something, I stand by this. You truly could sip this neat, but you could also replace it for some of your cocktails. I'm gonna show you my personal favorite way to drink it. Take some ice, give yourself about 1.5 to 2 ounces. We'll go a little heavier, more like 2 ounces. Soda of choice, I just got Diet Coke on hand. Last but not least, squeeze a lime wedge. Cheers. It literally tastes like a red Twizzler Coca-Cola mixed with a little bit of pineapple. It's such a tropical taste that it's almost hard to explain. It really is. If this is something that you might be interested in trying yourself, make sure you check out the link below. Use code RAIDERS, that is Raiders in all caps, for free shipping on your order. Thank you so much to Brother Justice, who's been a long-time supporter and partner of the channel, for sponsoring today's video. Let's get back to it. All right, so we made it inside. Got a good bit of selection to go through, but this is crazy. They say it's a small Air Force, and I actually ran into the man that first told me that just now as I was walking through the door. I'll never forget his face, my MTI, when I went through basic training. I stopped him. I was like, are you this person? He was like, yes, I am. I was like, you were my MTI 7 years ago. So we just had a nice long conversation about that, and it's pretty crazy. It's a small Air Force, small world. Let's get to it. Now, one thing to mention while we're going through some of these shelves here at the shopette is the price tag that you see is the price tag that you'll pay. You will not pay taxes on anything here on base. So for example, this Cooper's Craft right here, $24.80, that's exactly how much you're gonna pay, which is also a solid price for the Cooper's Craft 100. And it's getting a little bit harder to find. I normally see this for around 36, 40 bucks, so that's a solid one. I might have to, maybe think about grabbing that for the month that I'm here and kind of sip on. Over the next month, you'll probably be seeing a good bit of videos from me here in Mississippi. Got a few of the Jack Daniels right here, the Bonded Rye, Triple Mash, and Bonded Tennessee Whiskey. Overall, gonna pretty much have a good bit of the standard selection. Every now and then, there might be some things that pop out, like this right here. Look at this. Jack Daniels Hero Select. This proof is 137.6 proof. And look at the price, man. $53.99 for this one right here. So every year Jack Daniels does a hero selection, and this year they released Rise. Last year was the regular Tennessee Whiskey. basically they allow a retired person from the service go hand select these barrels of Jack Daniels. They're gonna come with a dog tag, and these are normally only released on military installations. 137.6 proof, $53.99 is a crazy good deal. I have probably 5 of these at home now, or else I would have been grabbing this, but it's cool to see, and there's plenty of it. Right next to it, see, 59 bucks, so you're paying a little bit more for just a regular barrel proof. I would go here all day, but they do have this one. And then right next to it, that is a travel exclusive. So these are sold at duty-free locations as well. But the Jack Daniel's American Single Malt comes in a full liter, way cheaper than whenever I bought mine. Now 78 bucks, I bought mine for 90. Russell Single Barrel, 59 bucks right there. Check this out, I got a couple of maker's picks right here. By vets, for vets, this is a Delta. That is the stave profile. I don't see a price for this one right here, or any of these at that matter. But here are the stave profiles. This was deployment 002 on both. I love those Maker's Mark picks. I wish there was a price tag on it because that would be another good one to kind of sip on in the hotel room for the month. Some of the Rabbit Hole products right there. And then dropping down, see? These are amazing, by the way. Jack Daniel's 1783 Hero Edition. It is just a step up better than this one. From what I'm told, this one is actually aged in a specific warehouse to give it a better flavor profile. Not sure exactly how true that is, but 17 bucks. I mean, that is so cheap and that is so good. I have a bottle of the Redemption at home. I don't remember cracking it yet. I don't exactly remember which one I have, but I believe it was a rye. It's not a terrible price. I don't know though. You know what? I do know what I have. They recently sent me an 18-year-old Redemption that has yet to come out, I think. So when I get back, we got to do a review on that. But this is distilled in Indiana, bottled by Redemption. So I'm guessing some MGP stuff. And I think that's what I read on the 18 year as well, was MGP. Some of the Horse Soldier, that was one of the first places I've ever seen Horse Soldier, was actually at my last duty location from when I was active duty. Big supporter of this brand, as they were the soldiers in Afghanistan riding on horseback. And I know I've probably said it in the past, if you've seen the movie 12 Strong, that's what these guys were based off of. I was hoping for the Jefferson's cash drink, but they just have kind of the standard lineup. Tropics is probably the most unique out of that. Old Granddad, $28.80. See, that's not, I guess that's about what I would pay after taxes, but in Louisiana, you could find these for as cheap as like 24 bucks. So $28.80 here, they got plenty of Old Granddad. This was also whenever I was just getting into bourbon, I would come to the shop at all the time. Old Granddad 114 was one of the first bottles that I bought. A couple of the Old Forester products here. Ben Holiday, Bottled and Bond, Baker's 7. This is a 7-year, 3-month Baker's, and the price, $58.79. But it is right next to an empty Booker's. See, that's a good price for Booker's. It was probably right here, sold out. Kentucky Owl, this one is the confiscated, $98.50. I guess I never paid attention to the label. I know that it's sourced, distilled in Kentucky, but look where it's bottled, Lacassine, Louisiana. And I've always heard that Bayou Rum, I believe, is the distiller. We have a rum distillery in Louisiana. That's where they bottle all of the Kentucky Owl as well. Balcones, a couple of the Garrison brothers. Overall, like I said, pretty standard stuff on the regular shelf, but I'm gonna show you the best price that I've yet to see on this bottle of whiskey, and they have an insane amount of it. Woodford Double Double Oak for $167, and they got at least a couple cases worth of it here, right next to the Double XO blend for $147.99. 90.4 proof, not a whole lot different from the regular double oaked. What I was told by one of you actually commented on a video a long time ago is Woodford basically took their regular double oaked, aged an extra year, but we're trying to charge triple, quadruple the price for what it was. But it is nice to see $167.99 is the cheapest I've ever seen it. I normally see at least $180 plus, and like I said in the beginning, good thing is you won't be paying taxes on it if you can get on base. Got a Horse Soldier. This says 80th D-Day anniversary, $140 for 80 proof. I really am not sure what makes this so special. 80 proof for $140 seems a little bit high. Maybe a good bit of the proceeds might go to a D-Day museum or something like that, but $140 for 80 proof, that's very steep. Right next to it, they have these right here. This is the 250th Anniversary Select Forged in Fire. Very cool looking bottle. It's got the metal label, 150 and 100 proof. Got their Davis, 98.99. This High West, which one is this? Let's see. 69.99 for this one. A blended straight bourbon finish in Chardonnay. So all of the Chardonnay ones that I've had in this High West cask collection finish have been great. Real big fan of these. It's solid. I actually am a big fan of almost everything that High West has finished. It's really good. They are good at finishing whiskeys, in my opinion. A couple of the Woodinvilles. They got an Elijah Craig pick right here. Selected for those who served. 80 bucks. Selected for those who served. That is a 9-year, and it is 123.7 proof. Got a couple of still awesome products. The Ryan Bourbon. Bullett's new bottled and bond for 53 bucks. And then a Knob Creek single barrel. Rally Point, selected by for 58.90. Some Bowman small batch. So that's pretty dang high. 60 bucks for Bowman small batch. Did they recently, am I missing something? Did they go up in price? 60 is a little bit high, and when I was in Denver, to be fair, that was like a secondary store, but they had this bottle listed at 100 bucks. Maybe they did go up, I don't know. If someone knows, did Bowman Brothers go up? Comment down below the price. And then this Orphan Barrel for 175, Woven Honor. Not familiar with this one at all. Oh, single malt scotch. That's probably why I don't know a whole lot about it. Got a whole dedicated Jack Daniels, some more Hero Selects. This one is actually different. It's 136.3 proof in this one. Plenty of it. And then a Jack Daniels Sinatra for 154. Leaving the Express, solid, man. Like, it kind of brought me back. That's where the bourbon hunting journey started. I used to live on base in Colorado, and I would always go hit up the shop at almost every single day. After work, or if I was off, I would just go pop in because they put out stuff all the time. Nothing in there I really couldn't live without. However, I am here for an entire month, so it's good to know that they have some of those Hero Selects. That Woodford Double Double Oak, man, for that price, I do think that might come home with me before I leave. And it looks like it's been sitting there a while. I didn't think that we were gonna get to go bourbon hunting on the military base, but we did. I'm glad you got to see that. We are now gonna head off base, go to our second stop of the day, which I have no clue where it's at, but I'm gonna type it in maps and we'll see you there. All right, y'all, it's pretty much right outside of base. Made it to the next spot, Liquor Therapy. I like the name of that and like the sound of that. And look, right behind, it's a big casino. It's a huge casino town here in Biloxi. So far, it's been a cool little area to kind of explore. It's really my first day to try and explore, but we're at Liquor Therapy. Let's go see inside. All right, we made it inside. We got about 3 end caps of whiskey, bourbons to go through, and we'll get started from, I guess, right to left. A couple of the Nulu. That's a Nulu finish in French oaks. That is $109.99 for that one right there. Mad Vines and Spirits. This right here is the bourbon whiskey finish in toasted barrels, $84.99. Mississippi exclusive. So just like in Louisiana, Nulu will send out picks basically that they'll hand select and ship them to the state, and they will be that state's exclusive. This one is a Mississippi exclusive for 85 bucks. Nulu was one of the distilleries when I visited Kentucky. The one and only time I've actually ever visited Kentucky. It was such a cool experience, such a great experience, and I'm actually a fan of their whiskey too. Elijah Craig Toasted right there. Let's see, 114 for Elijah Craig Toasted. Middle West, this is the Middle West Double Cask for $104.99 right there. Double barreled, American White Oak. I'm really not familiar with this one. I know, oh, that's a sherry, okay. So in one of the last few videos, the first one that we did in Florida when we were on vacation, I came across a few of these Middle Wests, and I wasn't sure exactly which ones to try, which ones to buy, if they were great. Got a lot of great feedback from that, so I appreciate you. I'm gonna probably go back once I'm done recording, make sure this wasn't one that y'all had recommended. But I'm starting to see them a little bit more often now, so that's good news. American Born, that is such like a American whiskey name right there. $22.99, high rise straight bourbon whiskey. It's got the mash bill on the back there. 66 corn, 30 rye, 4 barley. Bottled by American Born Bottle, Morrison, Tennessee, distilled in Lawrenceburg, Tennessee. Not a Tennessee whiskey, they call it bourbon. Nice. 3-quart. I'm not sure if I'm familiar with 3-quart, who makes it. $49.99 on this one. Let's see if it'll tell us. Distilled in Kentucky, Tennessee, and Indiana, perfectly tuned in Michigan. 3-quart in Michigan. Some of the Old Forester products right there. My uncle's a huge fan of the Statesman. He actually said that's one of his favorites. Out of the standard lineup, my favorite's probably not on here. 1920 is the one that I really love. Got some Willet Green Top Rye, 75 bucks, and then Penelope Barrel Strength. I recently had this. I say recently, it's probably been a few months now. $57.99. I had a store pick of this, William Dalton, and it was very, very good actually, and a pretty solid price for what I tried. Got the Middle West Wheated here, $58.99. A couple of the Jefferson stuff. And coming here, we got some High West, pretty standard bottom shelf here. Standard mixers, some of the barrel products right here. Vantage, Dovetail, and Armida is $89.99. $99 for the Dovetail, $89.99 for the Vantage. Got the Old Elk Slow Cut and the Wheated, 67 bucks, 79 for that one. Sinatra, they got a Booker's here on the shelf for, looks like $139.99. That's 2404. I believe that's a pretty good batch that people were talking about, is the 2404, this Booker's right here. And what's pretty interesting and pretty neat is, I guess it's more interesting than neat. When I was getting in bourbon, you couldn't find Booker's. That was a highly allocated product. No one could find it. And now they're pretty easily accessible, more than they were. Got the Yellowstone 101, Redbreast 12, and that's pretty much it for these shelves. All right, that was Liquor Therapy. Came recommended by a few of my Patreon supporters. I had texted in Patreon and asked for any liquor store recommendations while I was in the area. And gotta say, I don't know if it was the owner, manager, or just one of their employees. The sweet lady working the front desk, so nice, super kind. She was looking up the YouTube channel while we're in there. It was so much fun, just kind of chatting it up with her. But the shelves, overall, you know, they had Booker's. Nothing crazy, nothing that I couldn't go home with. Again, pretty much the same story as the Shopette. I'm gonna drive around and see if there's any more spots like right here near me before I have to get back to base. But this was a solid store and one that I think I'll be stopping in every single time I come in just to check out what they got new. We'll see if we can find something else. All right, so made it to the last stop of the day. This is Jubilee Liquor and Wine, and check this out. The beach right across the street. This is a cool little spot already, just from the view. We're gonna go inside, see what they got. He told me they had whiskey. We got a selection right here and then some back there as well. And we're gonna get right to it. A lot of real standard, solid selection of whiskey on this side of things. You got this right here, $69.99 for Maker's 46 Cask Strength. That's a solid bottle. I'm a huge Maker's fan, and that one is a good one that I kind of keep on the bar at all times. That's more like it right there, $63.55. So I'm guessing they did not go up on price. Here is the first time I've seen it since the last time I came to Mississippi. Look, classic bottle, but Old Taylor Straight Bourbon Whiskey, Edmund Haynes Taylor, that's E.H. Taylor, distilled and bottled under government supervision by OFC. OFC changed to Buffalo Trace Distillery. Is this Buffalo Trace mash bill? I have no clue. You get a 1.75 for $23.99. $23.99. I have a bottle of it at home, and it's actually pretty solid. It's not that bad. It is 80 proof, but I'm very curious on this bottle. Is this Buffalo Trace distillate? Because it just says distilled by OFC, which is no longer distillate. I don't know what's going on with that. Greenbrier Tennessee whiskey right there. $32.49 for that one. Starlight, I wish they had some of their regular stuff, but they got a blackberry flavored whiskey, 84 proof for 33 bucks. I still want to try a lot of their standard offerings. This is a Jack Barrel proof, $73.99, 132.7 proof on that one. Evan Williams, 1783, such a solid one. They don't have the Hero Select here, like we saw on base. Chattanooga 111, 48 bucks. Still haven't really had a Chattanooga that I'm crazy over yet. Here's one you don't really see every day. Bellmead Sour Mash, and it is 45. I can't really read the tag. I think that says 45 bucks. But this Bellmead, from what I hear kind of actually mixed things that they are out of business, Others say that they went out of business, they're coming back. These are just leftover. Really not too sure, but I actually enjoy this Belle Meade Sour Mash. I think for the price, it's great in this proof, 90.4 proof. It's a solid bottle. I actually haven't had one in a while, but every time that I go to, let's say the Bourbon Barbershop or something like that, I love to sip on that bottle right there. It's a good one. David Nicholson Reserve, 100 proof, 38 bucks. Haven't heard of this one before. Distilled and aged in Kentucky, bottled for Lux. Oh, so it's a Lux Row product. Okay, kind of reminded me of like the Rebel label right there. There's different offerings of that 3-core that we saw earlier. Not sure which one is the one to grab, or if any of them are. Let me know. Climax Whiskey Woodfire, 31 bucks. Toasted oak wood imparting color and revolutionary flavors. Pot distilled and bottled by Climax, Tim Smith. Have you tried this, or would you dare try this? Let me know. Here, kind of behind the shelf, they let me hop back here, get a good shot of what they have. A couple of barrel picks is what it looks like. Lincoln Road package, Tale of the Llama, and Misty's Birthday. So a couple of these barrel products right here. That 10-year sounds pretty good. I wonder what the price is on that. Interesting. These are both, oh, that's a 14-year. How did I skip over that? 14-year straight bourbon whiskey. That's probably gotta be really good, huh? Got some Hirsch right here. That one is $52.31 right there. Still no Jefferson's Cash Ring. I wonder if that's even hit the market in Mississippi yet. Got a Bardstown Fusion Series. That one is $65.93. Good bit of the old elk. It's kind of like Louisiana. There's a ton of old elk out there. Pretty solid distillery too that recently got bought out by Middle West. A few of the Oak and Edens, Wheat and Honey, 4-grain, Rye Spire, Bourbon Ambarana, Cobalt Single Barrel Bourbon. I think I had saw this brand recently, distilled in Chicago. So that's Chicago whiskey, $52.66 on that one. American Hell House, haven't heard of that before either. $52.34 on this one. Bespoken Spirit San Francisco. I just don't know who distills it. It's the first time I've actually seen. Crittenden is made right up the road, and it's the first time I've seen any of it in Mississippi. The Wampus Cat is really, really good. That's the older Boo-Rai-Roo, one of his first in the Mythical Creature series, but this right here is some of the best whiskey I've had from his distillery by far. Just brought this up here too. They got the Toasted Pecan, the 3.0. I'm on my second bottle myself at home. This is also what is best. If I had to go head to head with this and the Wampus Cat, it would be tough to choose, and depending on the day. A few of the Penelopes, 2XO Oak Series, Whistle Pig, and then there's some stuff down here that I'll come on the other side and show you behind the glass case. Got a few of the Horse Soldiers, a Booker's back there that is a 2404 in the back, and it is listed at 107. So Booker's for 107 bucks. Very solid price. I still have a hard time pronouncing. I think it's the Balmeria, Garrison Brothers right there. Very pricey bottle for what Garrison is. I really haven't had anything that super wowed me, but overall I think it's okay whiskey. More of the tropics down there, Murray Hill Club. And then I think that's a little sneaky good bottle right there, the Maker's Mark 101. Then on the counter, I believe we rung this one up. It was around $90 for Gillis Double Oak. We don't really see this every single day, so that's pretty neat. Some of the new, this looks really light. Bourbon whiskey finish in peach brandy barrels. It's 118 proof, but look at that. That is really light compared to their other bourbons. Look at that. Wow. I wonder what the age on this is. 3-month finish. So it's finished for 3 months, but nothing on age on this one. Finish in cherry brandy barrels, 120 proof, and toasted barrel. That actually sounds really good, this cherry brandy one right there. All right, first bourbon hunt down in Mississippi. I'm actually not taking anything back today to the hotel room. It is my very first day out doing some bourbon hunting. I'm gonna enjoy that for the month that I'm here, doing some military time. But one thing that did catch my eye today that I might go home with before this trip is over, and I'm sure you might see it in a future video, is going back and grabbing one of those Woodford Double Double Oaks for that price. I think it was what, in the 160 price range. That's very solid. Another thing I just found out pretty interesting. I noticed none of the liquor stores here sell beer, except for On Base. On Base is federal, a little bit different. Mississippi, or at least in this area, I think it's Mississippi as a whole, you cannot sell beer and liquor in the same store. Super weird. So they have a beer store right behind it, connected, but there's a wall in between that you cannot cross. Pretty interesting, I thought. Thank you guys so much for checking this video out. Make sure you stay tuned for the ones coming in the future. Appreciate you all for the support and all of our dedicated Patreon members. See you in the next one.